Right, I've got two guests in the studio now, two more of the Greater Manchester Fringe performers. Now, these two are no stranger to the studio. They've been in before, and it's Alexis Tuttle and Hayley Cartwright. Good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon, or good evening even.
Good evening, yeah. Now, you're the Lipstick Thespians, aren't you?
We are.
Now, I remember last time you came on the show, we got run away a bit, didn't we?
Yeah. Oh, I think you should run away again.
Yes.
I think you should be getting your lipstick out and you should be like plastering
it. Well, we do have them here. We are going to be a...
Is it a delicate
I'm going to be an honourary member.
Are you going to be puckering up for us?
So your best pouting, please.
My best pout, yeah. Well, we're going to talk about your new performance. Well, it's one you've done before, isn't it? So it's going to be at the Greater Manchester Fringe, called Up the Bunting.
Yeah.
Would you like to tell us about that? Because you're in that, Hayley, aren't you?
I am. I'm in this. And one of my best friends, Stephen Donald, wrote the piece. Originally, it was about 35 minutes long, something like that. And it's a two-hander. It's a comedy. It's so hilarious. It's a real, like, belly laugh comedy, really. You know, you'll laugh till your tummy aches, really. I'm really pleased to bring it back. And the reason we brought it back was lots of audience members and also reviewers as well. We got great reviews, outstanding reviews. We're so impressed with all the reviews we got. It was wonderful. But a lot of people wanted to know what happened to the two characters, Colin and Lisa.
Yeah.
And I play Lisa, who's a very crazy, kind of rubbish, really, Reiki healer, isn't she? She's a Reiki healer and a crystal healer. But there's more to her than meets the eye. And we're performing it at Bar Pop, where we performed it last time, in downstairs in the little theatre there.
Right.
It's a lovely little venue, nice and quaint, and we're doing that on the 17th and 18th of July, which is a Tuesday and a Wednesday, and it's on at 8 o'clock, isn't it, Lex?
Brilliant.
Yes, it is, yeah.
How much are the tickets?
They are £7.
Which is very good value to see you and Stephen Donald in Up the Bunting.
Yeah.
So, you were here a couple of years ago, and I remember first meeting you at the Fringe launch party, wasn't it, in July 16, and the Lipstick Thespians exploded, didn't they? They were like couldn't ignore them, really. It was
twins. We're sitting here with our little t-shirts on for
I know,
you.
That's nice. That's good.
Our special, the Lipstick Thespian t-shirts, just for you. Obviously works well on radio, as you can tell.
We're going to have a
But what's
nice
our tagline, Lex?
Well, I'm not prepared to say it.
Though she be but little,
she be fierce. But I think it's interesting because from my perspective, again, being part of the Greater Manchester Fringe Festival, it offers actors, writers, and like myself, an actor and a director, the opportunity to do two things at the same time. So when we've progressed this with Stephen Donald deciding to extend the play to an hour, it's given me an opportunity as a director to take that writing and the comedy. It's quite dark humour. It covers the whole gamut of, it's very poignant, there's a lot of emotion involved, but it is covered with obviously comedy. And because the demand was to find out what happens to the characters next, it's been a real pleasure for me to pick up the reins and to just guide that on. Obviously the actors, they take the words and then they regurgitate them through their bodies and they become these characters.
Yeah.
But my job is to ensure that the story doesn't change, that we still remain faithful to the text and what that writer is trying to get across in that moment, even if it's a humorous moment, to ensure that the pace and the energy of the play remains there, so that the audience are taken on a journey at the right energy and pace as they would wish to be, so that they don't feel rushed, but at the same time they feel like they're identifying with the storyline, identifying with the emotional content of it, and laughing at themselves as well, because they'll have related to those experiences. I mean, I'm not being funny. We've all been to the local fete, haven't we, Ian?
Yes. We have.
What springs to mind when you think of the fete?
Oh, gosh, all sorts of things, really. I couldn't think of...
Shop.
Yeah. Candy floss. Toffee apples. I remember going to Blackpool and having a toffee apple and being terribly sick later that night.
Did it put you off for life?
Yeah, I've never had a toffee apple since.
Did you just have one, though, Ian, or did you have 5?
No, I only had one.
Oh,
yeah,
yes.
I remember going to Blackpool with my mum and dad and having a toffee apple on the fairground.
Never again. But that's That's it, you see. We tap into our younger self, don't we?
Yeah,
and
we
our
do.
older self, because it is ageless. Going to the Fete and having those experiences, it's a British national tradition. And so already when we open up, we've got the music going, you've got all those little sounds that you expect to hear. So already you're engaged with the storyline before anyone even steps onto the stage, which is really nice.
Yeah.
Stephen obviously is a great calibre of actor as well as writer. He has a history in Brookside.
Right.
And he's about to step into Coronation Street, which I'm delighted to say is great because Hayley is also a Coronation Streeter as well.
Aren't you?
I am, yeah. I am, yeah.
You're becoming an old hand, aren't you? at
I
Coronation
play
Street?
Hazel the Celebrant, so I'm a recurring character, really.
Yeah.
So hopefully I'll be back soon at some point this year, which would be lovely. Yeah, I was in it a few times last year.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's great.
It's wonderful. It's like working with my friends there,
Yeah.
to be honest with you.
Yeah, so it's nice because I suppose it getting that bit more exposure, isn't it, as an actor?
Yeah, definitely.
I guess so, yeah. I mean, I've been acting professionally for almost 20 years now. But as soon as people hear how Coronation Street, they're like, oh, gosh, you're in Corrie, you know.
yeah.
And it's
Seems to be the
exciting.
gold standard,
It's like,
isn't it?
it's got the gold stamp now. I've got the gold stamp of approval now, you know. But no, I've known Stephen for, oh, gosh, it must be at least 12 years, maybe more.
Yeah.
One of my bestest friends. And he approached me with a very loose version of this script a long, long time ago. And it had a different character in it. He said, oh, I've got written this monologue, it might suit you. And
Yeah.
it was a kind of very early version of Lisa, really, very early version. And it was Scouse back then as well, or Liverpudlian, for those who don't
Yeah.
know what I mean. And it just came from there, really. And then he approached me about, must be about a year or so ago, about the first version of Up the Bunting. And I said to Alexis, I'd really like you to direct it, because us as the Lipstick Thespians, obviously we mainly work as a pair, as
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
doing a lot of comedy, but we're also working on a women's project as well at the moment, and that's a
Exactly,
long
yes, that's
distance,
good,
a long
yeah.
distance, a long-term one,
Yeah.
really. And I approached her because when either of us have got an audition, we work with the other one. And prepare each other, don't we,
Yeah,
for our
that's good,
auditions,
that.
because we're
Yeah.
individual actors as well.
Yes.
And I just saw how she works with me preparing for an audition, and I said, Alexis, you can do this. You'll be amazing. And
Yeah.
to her credit, she got fantastic reviews as a director as well.
She talked me into being a director.
Yeah.
And I'm glad I've done it, actually, because it's like anything. When you're a little bit nervous about something, you just have to bite the bullet and get in there
Yeah.
and do it.
Yeah.
Which is why I was saying that the Greater Manchester Fringe Festival is really good like that, because it does give you that opportunity. Because I'm also directing, but I'm also being a cheeky actor in it as well. So
Yeah.
I am spreading myself thin on this one, aren't I?
Yeah, that's it. Go
You
for
might
it,
get
yeah.
to see Alexis strutting her stuff a little bit before our show, might they?
They
Yeah.
will.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Well, we're
Yes.
having a little
We're going to have a little pre-thing going on
element.
there, but you'll have to wait and see when you
Right.
turn up.
Go, yes, I'll look forward to that. That'd be wonderful, that. So, yes, 2 nights there, but Bar Pop.
Yes.
So that's wonderful. I tell you what, though, Hayley, I've got something for you here, which I think
yeah.
you'll really like. We'll just play this quickly. Yes, I know you're a big fan of Doctor Who, aren't you? So I thought I'd get that.
Oh my gosh, I would love to play the Doctor one day.
Well, we've always got to hope, haven't we?
Now,
So,
Andy Pryor, if you're listening, you know you've received a few tweets from me. I'd love to have a casting and an audition for Doctor Who. Please,
Yeah.
please, please, and pretty please.
It's very topical at the
So-
moment. It's in the news because
It is.
some of it's been leaked, hasn't it?
It has.
Has it?
Yes,
Oh, right, yeah,
there's been
yeah.
some...
Was
Well,
it
we were
American
looking-
site that
I
leaked
think
it?
it is, yeah.
I think so
We're
as well.
looking forward to Jodie, aren't we? Starting.
Oh, can't
whenever,
wait.
whenever they start
I think
showing
it comes
them.
out in September.
Is it September? Yeah.
I think
yeah.
so. Yeah, I'm so excited.
Yeah.
It's wonderful, isn't it? I mean, people. She's up against it, isn't she? Because there's some people that really aren't impressed having a female doctor.
Yeah, but it's not a real character, is it?
No.
And would it matter if it was anyway? I mean, the fact is, what's the issue?
Yeah.
You know,
We don't regenerate,
Doctor
that's
Who
it.
can be Doctor Who, or can be anyone. You know,
Yeah.
and
It could be an app
and,
on your phone.
And the other thing is that, with Jodie, there'll be girls who'll have a role model that they didn't have before.
Absolutely.
And every generation wants something new.
Absolutely. And that's what we're passionate about.
This is where it's never gone before, and this is a good, it really doesn't matter who it is, but it's good that they've picked a woman to play Doctor Who.
I think so. Well, you see, our ethos is really having decent roles for women, isn't it? Especially like, late 20s right up, isn't it? Because that is our ethos, getting decent roles for women, because we're still fighting that fight as we, when I last spoke to you, when I was on the phone to you, and I did a phone interview in March with you, didn't I? And I talked to you about the 50-50 campaign, which is equal representation of actresses. I mean, that also covers backstage crew as well. It's a big fight, for every 3 or 4 males you only get 1 female role in many productions. So we've still got that fight in 2018, and our ethos is very much, isn't it,
try and get
also women,
get more equality in there, and diversity as well.
Diversity
is a big thing too.
Exactly.
We do need to be looking at these things and just having a more balanced approach to society as a whole, and not just presenting one aspect or one angle.
Exactly. Exactly. There's many different facets to this world, and they all need to be represented, don't they?
They do, yeah.
But that's the main mission of the Lipstick Thespians, isn't it? To find good parts for women and create good parts for women, and and obviously identify women that can do those parts as well.
Definitely, because I know so many great actors who are, say, late 30s up, and there are very few decent roles for that age category. I know some fantastic actors, and they're not getting the opportunities because there might be an odd one pop up that's brilliant, but that will go to someone who's already very well known, of course, most of the time. And I feel so sorry, because I know so many brilliant performers and they're just not getting the opportunities there.
Which is ridiculous, really, because at the end of the day, the UK global entertainment and media market is actually growing and growing considerably, and people like PwC, PricewaterhouseCooper.co.uk, they're actually saying that over the next 5 years that we're going to be making, this industry is going to be worth something like 76 billion.
Gosh.
That's a pretty significant figure that we're dealing with there, and it shows you that it is a much needed industry in any society. So I think we pretty much justify ourselves. It's just now getting the balance of where that money goes, who it goes to, and who is represented within that.
I mean, it's silly, really. Like there's hardly any money given out to the arts, and I think for every £1 that we're given, they get at least £4 back. So it makes sense to invest in the arts.
It does,
It's crazy that we have to fight. We have to fight so much for equal, decent pay, And when we're talking decent, we're not talking that much, really, either, are we? We have to fight and fight and fight. And I'm diversity rep as well for our general Greater Manchester region equity branch as well, which is the Actors Union and Performers Union and Stage Managers, Directors, Models, Dancers Union, for those who don't know. So it's a very big part of my plan overall for the Greater Manchester region as well.
Absolutely. And it's in fact, the next meeting's on Thursday the 5th of July, isn't it?
It is. It's this coming Thursday, and I've managed to invite Claire Bleasdale, who's a lovely, lovely casting director of theatre, film and television, and she's based in London and Manchester, and I've invited her in to talk to the branch.
Great. So that sounds fantastic.
It's worth being a member of Equity, and worth also going to your local branch meetings just for simple things like that, because we actually get a lot of inspiration as the Lipsticks.
We do.
From those meetings, believe it or not.
We do. We have great great meeting there. Absolutely. And it's I must say, actually, for those who don't know, if you remember, you're very welcome to come. And if you're a non-member but you're interested in joining us, you can actually join the meeting as well and come and hear what Claire's got to say, and also what we've all got to say. And you can actually bring your ideas to the table. It's at 7:30 this time on Thursday, and it's at the Royal Exchange.
Right. Okay. I was just going to ask where it was. Yeah, that's good. Right. Brilliant. So yes, up the Bunting. Bar Pop, 17th, 18th of July at 8 o'clock, and £7. That's very good. For how long is the performance? Over an hour?
Just about an hour, approximately an hour. And it's in such a nice setting, though, because you can have a nice cool drink beforehand, out on the street, pop downstairs, watch the show, come back up again, and just have another nice drink. And it's so social around there. It's an early finish, so if you want to have a meal afterwards, you don't feel like you're cramming it in before work.
Oh, that's nice.
And we'll be definitely having a drink afterwards, so we'll be around to talk to everybody afterwards as well and have a chat. But the reason our ticket price is £7 is part of our ethos as well, is opening theatre to everybody, regardless of your income. We think that's really, really important.
It is, isn't it? A theatre for everyone.
Absolutely.
Right, well, thank you very much, Hayley and Alexis. Lovely to see you both again, and you're going to hang around for a bit anyway, so that's good.
We are.